Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. It is a massive day for news. We have learned so much more about patrols today. A lot of publications had a chance to visit Bungie, play the game, and experience patrol in the European Dead Zone. This morning, the embargo has lifted for them to give us their first impressions, and that's exactly what we got. However, we also learned quite a bit about some very specific patrol systems, and it's all mega awesome. There's a metric ton of things to cover, so let's jump in and talk about all the juicy details.
Welcome to the European Dead Zone. We're going to be spending a lot of time together, you and I. When I asked Hawthorne for help, I never dreamed she'd drop a guardian at my door. Devrim K, the 8th, at your service.
So a lot of this information we already saw from yesterday's leaked videos. Those videos were supposed to be going up today instead, and of course were taken down yesterday, but not before we were able to catch a glimpse of what we can expect from the patrol experience. So let's talk about what we've learned. First off, I have to mention that the European Dead Zone is absolutely stunning. This location is gigantic, and I love the mix between the urban areas and the more natural landscapes. There are also many little details to appreciate, and it really gives the space a sense of history that we haven't quite been able to get before in Destiny. Now, as far as the activities, before we heard about having the ability to initiate public events, and now we can finally see it in action. The public events appear as banners, similar to control banners. Once you activate the banner, there is a countdown of 1 minute before the event actually kicks off. It appears that this is intended as a way to give other players a chance to get to the public event, since they are now visible from the destination map. You can use fast travel points or even set waypoints to a specific activity. Now, this public event is called Ether Resupply, and it has you defeat a giant servitor. Not so simple because it's teleporting around, healing the ads, and also teleporting you high up in the air if you piss it off enough. They also somehow managed to trigger the heroic version of the public event, although it's not entirely clear how. For completing a public event, players will be able to loot a chest that spawns in that space, similar to a strike chest, and some of the footage we saw completing the event granted players glimmer, rare gear, and a brand new item called an EDZ token. This is a new form of currency that has introduced a brand new concept to Destiny 2 patrols, and that is the idea of a world reputation system. As you complete adventures, patrol missions, and public events, you will be continuously awarded these EDZ tokens. Then you will have the opportunity to turn these tokens into NPCs that you find throughout the destination in exchange for reputation. And similar to Destiny 1, when you rank up, you will be granted a rank package. Here you can see a player walking up to an NPC we've seen before, but now we know is named Devrim K, who is a Dead Zone scout and the host of one of the adventures in the space, and it appears once you complete the adventure with him, he becomes a vendor. I absolutely love the idea of vendors in combat areas. I mean, imagine having to hunt down Xur in the European Dead Zone. That would be absolutely insane. Also, in this instance, we also get our first glimpse into the new vendor interface. And I have to say that I absolutely love the new look. You see the vendor in the space you're in, and the interface simply slides in on the right. Breaking down the new vendor display, you can see the reputation bar at the top, representing your world reputation for the European Dead Zone. You see your glimmer, legendary shards, and perhaps something similar to motes of light. At the bottom, you see the gear that is available to purchase right from Devrim himself, which is pretty awesome. Although we only see uncommon gear here, I hope we see his offerings upgrade at some point. Either way, this is going to be really good for that third act sort of post-campaign progression. And from here you can see you get an item called an EDZ engram when you rank up with reputation. And as the reputation bar is shown as full, it is clearly a rank up package. In this example, the player receives 2 pieces of legendary gear and then a small stack of shaders. And luckily, we got a preview of the items that are available from this package. Just like in Destiny 1, you can hit triangle or Y to inspect the package. And you can see here we have a pretty good assortment of items, including those PlayStation exclusive items as well. We can also spot the Scathe log here, which makes sense that it's a bit more run down and rustic looking. It looks like it's part of the weapon set for the European Dead Zone, which is a pretty cool concept. I would love to see these systems on the other destinations, but we still don't know to what extent all of these systems will be carrying over. Now, the other thing to note is the stack of shaders that the player got from the package. which also, by the way, confirms that shaders will be taken up once placed into a piece of gear. We still don't know if they are permanently lost when applied, but it's definitely a possibility, especially since considering that you will likely be able to rank up a few times a day. You can see here that it's really easy to rank up with just under 20 of these tokens. These tokens also appear in randomly appearing golden chests called regional chests. We saw this symbol on maps in the past, but never really know what it meant. Now we know they stand for these regional chests, and as you can see, it very generously grants 3 of these tokens and 1,000 glimmer. On top of that, you can also trade in a new item called a Dusklight Shard, most likely the new planetary material for the European Dead Zone, likely also used to upgrade gear. And we still don't know if there's going to be other ways to gain reputation, but at the very least, you can bet that there should be some other materials that you can trade in. Oh, and in case you didn't catch it, this player has over 70,000 glimmer. This could just be the test build, but we did come to learn that this is a very close to final version of the game, so let's hope the cap is around 100k at the very least. Now, moving on, there was another really cool thing that I wanted to point out, and that was what appears to be another type of activity, which is seeking out and killing high-value targets. This is very similar to what you've seen in other games like The Division. These seem to be separate from the public events, and sadly I couldn't find any official footage to show you, but it doesn't seem to trigger any public events, and it seems like these bosses are just roaming the land with their posse. Once you defeat the boss, of course, you will be granted even more loot. Bungie did mention things like this would occur during flashpoints where there would be more world bosses to kill, so this could just be something that shows up in a flashpoint. We'll just have to wait and see. Next, we got a glimpse at some adventures and lost sectors. I won't go too deep into any of these in case you want to figure them out for yourself, but at the very least, I wanted to point out how awesome the lost sector entrance is in this shot. You follow a path inside a building, and you make your way down a series of corridors. The level of detail is again breathtaking, especially when it opens up into a massive underground area. Pretty epic indeed. We also get a glimpse at an adventure that is initiated by interacting with a beacon that is in the shape of a sword plunged into the earth. A little on the nose for my taste, but I guess it'll have to do. The few of them we've seen were given by Devrim, Hawthorne, and even ones from Ikora Ray, and honestly kind of resemble like the first part of a strike. Without giving too much of it away, because believe you me, I want to experience it for myself the first time as well, but they do seem to be 2 to 3 stage events, and hopefully there's some pretty good loot at the end. Now, moving on to some smaller tidbits, the next thing I wanted to point out was what appears to be a new version of bounties. When he pulled up the ghost in the footage, you can see there is something called challenges. And if you read some of the objectives, you can see they resemble bounties quite a bit. Now, it will be interesting to see where you get these challenges from. Will they be from a challenges board somewhere in the farm, or are they given to you by other characters? Maybe they just show up week to week, we don't know. But one thing I do know is that when you level up after reaching the level cap, instead of receiving 5 lame motes of light, you actually receive an item called a bright engram. Now, sadly, I can't show you any footage because I don't know where this footage is from, and I don't want to get in trouble, so I'll just leave a link down below to the Reddit post that discovered this. We still don't know what it contains, but from the word engram, I think that's going to stick to being something gear related. Maybe this is how you can get mods. We still haven't seen anything about mods in the game. And the final tidbit that I wanted to point out was the ability to receive exotic engrams from public event chests. Now, again, I can't show you the footage, but if you want to see it, again, head on over to that same Reddit post. This is sort of part of the same thread, and you can check it out there for yourself. And in addition to that link, I'll leave a couple other links down below to some more videos if you just want to watch the raw footage. There was a really cool video by Bungie and also a really great breakdown from PlayStation, so if you're still curious, definitely head on over and check it out. Overall, I have to say that I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing in regards to patrols. It blows all of my expectations out of the water. It looks like there will be tons for you to do and you will be handsomely rewarded for doing it. I for one will definitely be spending a lot of time on patrol exploring all the little hidden secrets. But anyways, believe it or not, that's just a summary of what we saw. As we discover more specific bits, of course you can expect more separate in-depth videos throughout the week. Also head on over to my Twitch channel. I'll be live streaming right off the heels of posting this video, so be sure to head on over where we can continue the conversation and chat about everything we've seen. Otherwise, let me know down below what your favorite thing you saw was today, and will you be spending more time in patrols? Let's discuss. Also, be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to enter my big Destiny 2 giveaway if you haven't already. You'll have a chance to win a limited edition copy of Destiny 2, pretty epic. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to stay up to date on everything Destiny. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.